Hi, Mark here. Trust you're well. Welcome to a Lightroom and Lightroom Classic skills and support session that I hosted on Monday the 19th of January 2026. The narrative for the evening was sharing our images from Lightroom. And we talked about all the different ways from our phone, tablet and Lightroom desktop to share our images. We followed on with Classic keyboard modifying and some keyboard shortcuts. And then our time was concluded with your questions, your challenges in Classic and Lightroom, how to do things and where do you need help. Now, if you'd like to come and join us, just visit lightroommark.com. Below the introductory video is the upcoming events. If you go to the menu system and click on all events, you'll see all the events for the next year. If you need one-to-one support today, just click on the support in the menu. A video will come up, tell you what I can help you with and how you can ask for support. So I hope you'd like to come and join us one day on one of these events, lightroommark.com. Just click on the event that interests you, register your interest. And I look forward to welcoming you to one of these live events. Without any further ado, let's jump across to the recording. And happy editing. Now, have we got anyone new this week? I think we have. Chris, is it? I think we had Chris here who's new. So welcome, Chris. I think it's pronounced Chris. I'm Mark. I've been helping other photographers for well over a decade now with Lightroom and Lightroom Classic. And the format has changed over the years and changed into online after COVID. And on a Monday now we do skills base, and then I do a Lightroom short, which is a random subject that I choose, normally about half an hour before we start. And then the floor is opened up to your questions. And tonight we are going to look at Lightroom and the sharing functionality of Lightroom, and that's on a desktop and on your mobile and tablet, and I can do different things different ways and show you. And then next week we will look at the cloud. So that is, you've got no computer, phone or anything with you, and linking everything together. Okay, so that's what we're doing next week. Right. So what you see in front of you at the moment is Lightroom desktop. Lightroom desktop, not Classic, that's totally different. And Lightroom desktop is the new modern version of Lightroom. Lightroom desktop is the desktop client, it's called, the technical term, of how we interact with our images on a laptop or a desktop computer. And we have two locations. We have local and we have cloud. Cloud, as I was explaining last week, is the part of Adobe's server, which is Amazon, that is allocated to yourself. And in this case, I have 576 images. And we share images from Lightroom, and I'm going to show you on desktop to start with, via an album. So very similar to Classic, but we have more functionality with Lightroom because Lightroom was designed for a modern workflow, where Classic was designed in the 80s and 90s, and we really didn't have the internet then. So what I'm going to first do is going to hit down the bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to create an album. And Call it today's date. And there's the album. And albums are in the cloud. Okay. So there is the album that I've created. And I'm going to add some photos to it. So I could click on the add button here and I can add from my local drive. Okay. Or I could add from a camera, or I could go to all my pictures. These are all the pictures in the cloud, or I could go to all the pictures in the Finder and add them to the cloud. Okay, so it's quite straightforward. All right, so I can just drag an image, drop it in there, and it will appear in there. Okay, now the important thing, or the interesting thing, is when we go up to the silhouette in the top right hand corner. And this is where it varies to Classic, because everything I've just shown you is basically exactly the same as Classic, except it's called an album. Okay. So we have get our shareable link. Same as in Classic. There's our link. And if I click on it, it takes me to a web browser. And there's the image. Okay, this is the gallery page. There's only one image in there at the moment. I can copy the link. I can share it with X, Facebook. And here comes the start of the interesting things. We can, like in Classic, make it public or keep it private. Now, here's the differences. In Classic, it's either public or private. But I can do private with invites in Lightroom. Now you can send, as we looked at last week, a collection from Classic to Lightroom and then continue on the workflow at this point. And you can then invite somebody to your album. Now, what's the difference? Public, anyone with a link can see the album. Private, for yourself only, okay, so we've got no shareable link, will only appear on your devices and when you're logged into lightroom.adobe.com. Okay, if I refresh that web browser, there's the album. Only I will see it when it's private. Okay, but private with invited is a halfway house. So you can start inviting people. Okay. And how do you do that? You click on the invite and you type an email address in there. Okay. So all you have to do is type the email address and then you can choose the permissions that you want to grant the individual. And each email address, each person can have different permissions. So they can look at it, they can contribute. Okay, so they can leave a comment, they can put a heart mark on it. I love this image, I can write a comment, or you can actually allow them in the free version to make an edit and contribute. And then you hit the invite and Adobe will send an email. Okay, you can change the permissions at any time and you can remove. So it's currently pending. So let's hope if I go to my Gmail, and there we go. Adobe has sent me this invite. Okay, I've shared an album. That's the name of the album. And to see the album, you'd click on the link. They have to have a free Adobe account, but only that user will see that. Okay. And if they've got the app on their phone, there is a section, I'll show you when we go to a phone, where it says shared with you. Okay, so you can see the album in the app. So, and it's waiting, it's now pending. I didn't click on the link, so it will be pending. Okay, and it will show if I've accepted or not and who the members are, and you can remove them, you can change their permissions. So that's one step more than what Classic will allow us to do. So we can have a public web page that anyone can see them, same as Classic, and it's the same link in Classic and Lightroom, exactly the same link. We can make it private, so it just goes across our devices, our account, or we can invite attendees. Okay? Everyone happy with that? Anyone any questions? Okay. So let's go to the settings of this, the first uh, menu. We can allow your invited people to invite other people. So you send it to your mum and say, "Oh, let dad, send dad an email," and we can just toggle this on. So toggle it on, toggle it off. So if you want to stop your mum, for example, inviting brothers, sisters, and so on, you toggle that off. We can actually allow them to, when they've accepted, to add their own photographs. So you could have a group album of 5 or 6 people going on holiday, and they can all contribute images. You can also allow a JPEG download. Okay. You can allow comments and likes. You can show or hide metadata and location just by turning these on. Okay. The next menu across is how do you want it to look? So title, do you want to show the title? Do you want to show the author, i.e. your name? Do you want it as a photo grid, a column, or one image on top of the other? Do you want it dark or light? So I can change it to light, press done. If I click on the link, which is up here, it'll open up. Now it'll be white. As you see, I untook the author. My name's no longer appearing. Okay. And that is sharing from Lightroom. Okay, so we've got the link. We can set it's private and public, private invitees. We can allow others to share this link, invite other people. We can allow the download, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. We can allow comments, and I'll show you how to do that. Show on the metadata, show location. So let me find a photograph that's probably got a location. Where am I going to go? Let's go here. Let's see if I've got something with a location. Let's say with I've got a location. No, it's got no location. To see if I've got something with a location. That's got a location. So now if I drag that, drop that in there, I've now got 2 images in there. And this will now sync. It'll start syncing up there. So now if I go to the web browser, refresh, and there's the second image. And if we looked on the right-hand side in the corner, we've got information. And this is the information that I've allowed it to share. So location. Okay. Click on the map, takes you to the Google Maps. And there is the bunker that I was photographing. Okay, all taken from your image, all sharing with the people that you want to share with. You can add a comment. Okay, so you can write down in there, hello, nice image. Okay, put the comment in there. I can, down the bottom, I can like it, so put a little love heart on it. But I can also download the image because I've allowed downloads. And you can see top right hand corner, little download icon. Click on the download and you've got standard or full size JPEG. Okay, that will depend on how you've shared the image, how you've uploaded the image. Is it an actual file? Is it a smart preview? Okay, it depends on the source. Okay, and they can report if somebody's put something there wrong. All right. Now, if I go back to Lightroom, click on the image, come down to the comments, which is there. You can see, comment, hello, nice image. Right, there's the little heart symbol. So you could, just like Facebook, people can comment, but it's private. You're sharing the images privately. And if I launch Classic, and we just wait for that to minimize. I just wait for that to sync. I'll show you all that syncs back to Classic. Okay. So anyone questions about that? No? No one questions about that?
No.
Yeah. Relatively straightforward, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right. Okay. So now we come to what a lot of people think is complicated because we're used to doing it with a computer. Okay. So what we're now going to do is going to do it with a phone or would you prefer a phone or a tablet, everyone?
Phone.
Phone. Okay. Phone is one I prepared earlier. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Me. Where am I going? This way. So there we go. Here's Lightroom. This is Lightroom in the cloud. There's my pictures on my phone. And you can see I keep very few pictures on my phone. Once they've gone to Classic, they get taken off, or they've gone to Lightroom, they get taken off my phone. And if I go to my albums, there is the album that I've created. And there is the file that I've sent from my desktop. And there's the other file. Okay. And again, you can see the share icon at the top, which is the square with a little arrow in. I click there. I can now get the share link. So exactly the same link. I can download a copy. I can add borders. Now this is my account. I've got a few more extra things. I can add borders so I can make a picture frame like this. I can add my logo. I can resize for Instagram. A lot more things that I can do on the phone because an Instagram is a phone app. Okay, so I can take them to Premiere. I can take them to Photoshop on my phone. Exactly the same as a tablet. Okay, I could send it as a text message if I wanted to. So I could share and it will come up and I can send as a text message or however I want to add it to an email, however I want to do that. Okay. But the interesting thing is, I have a camera here and I have a normal, just a cheap Anchor USB-C to USB-C cables. Nothing special about this one. Not a Thunderbolt 5 or anything like that. All I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it into my camera and I'm going to plug it into the bottom of the phone. All I've done. Okay. Right, straightforward, yeah. And turn on the camera and camera's now on. I'm going to press the blue pill that it'll add the image and I'm adding from a connected camera. And there's the photographs that I took 5 minutes ago with my on my camera, and I can select all of them or just select three of them. And I'm going to import them, but I'm going to add them because I was in the album in the first place. It's come up at the top. Can you see right at the top? It's got add to and the album, today's date. Because I was working in the album, that's my workflow, working in the album. It's going to automatically add them to those album. I go import, and there we go. That's imported those three images to Lightroom. And there they are. Okay. From my camera with one cable using my phone, they're now on my phone in Lightroom. Okay. So I'm now just going to unplug it, turn off my camera, put my camera away. Now, at the moment, you might see in the top of the screen the little cloud. I don't know if you can see, it's got little dots whizzing across. That means it's syncing to the cloud. Okay. Whilst it's syncing, or if you've got syncing turned off, because what you can do is you go on the three dots, you can go to app settings, and you can go to cloud storage and syncing. You can turn off cellular syncing, mobile phone syncing if you wish. You can turn off auto import. Okay, so actually I've got it turned off at the moment. So there's photo, there's video, auto import. Okay. So any picture you take or video you take with your phone, it'll automatically add it to Classic. And if you have the mobile phone side of it switched on, it'll there we go, use cellular for syncing. It will upload via your cellular plan. But you might not have a lot of data, so you'll turn that off and wait till you get home for Wi-Fi, and then I'll upload to your Lightroom cloud. So now you can see top at the little cloud, you can see I've just pressed on it. It says light synced and backed up. It's finished. It's uploaded those files. Has anyone any questions about that?
Can you go through that again?
Yeah, go for it again. No problem. Tell me why I imported half of them. Let me finish the storyline and I'll go back and do it again. Okay, so the important thing to remember when you copy them from your device, and that's to a phone or a tablet, and what I'll do is I'll do it on the tablet next time. It's exactly the same procedure, except it'll be a different orientation. Whilst they are sitting on the device until you get the message saying synced and backed up, the files are on the device. Does that make sense? So I've copied them, copied. They're still on the card in this camera. Okay, just like your normal workflow of importing, you're copying them. All right. They copy to your phone or your tablet. And until it's completed syncing each file, it stays on your device. Once it's gone to the cloud and completed the handshake, like in fax terminology, that is handshake, I call it. It's uploaded it. It then gets removed out of Lightroom. The file gets removed because the file now is in the cloud. And what you see is a preview. Okay?
And that counts towards your
Your storage, yes, because
storage.
this is a file.
Yep.
Yeah? You're uploading a file to the cloud, and that counts towards your storage. When you go from Classic to the cloud, that's a smart preview. Once you've uploaded from your device, your phone or your iPad or whatever device it is, when the file has been sent and received, it becomes a smart previews on your device, so it frees up space and it sits in the cloud. Okay, so now I'm here in Lightroom Just click on that. I'm here in Lightroom, and there's the 3 pictures that I imported, sitting here as files. Okay.
So on your phone, after it uploaded, it kept the previews, not the file in the
Correct.
Lightroom app. In the Lightroom
Correct.
app.
On the phone. Yeah. It deletes the file on your phone and leaves a preview because the file now is in the cloud. The file is referenced in the cloud.
Right.
Okay. And
Yep.
now if I go to Classic and I come down to Collections and I've got this from Lightroom, it puts it in there automatically. I click on the collection. There's the 5 images. So Lightroom has sent it back to Classic. And there is the file, the NEF file in the collection. If I go right click, show in library, there it is in the folder structure. Those are the files that have come from my camera up to the cloud, down to Classic. And just to show you, if I go Finder, there's the files. Okay, on the hard drive. Exactly the same location, file structure, and that's it using the Finder.
But there's still also the files in the cloud.
Yeah, they're still in the cloud at the moment.
Right.
Okay. And we'll do moving them next week if we don't have enough time tonight. Okay, so there's the cloud drive. That is my cloud drive. What's in the cloud, what I'm seeing it locally, what it brings down. Okay.
Just, if you don't mind, Mark, because
Yeah.
that's what's confusing me, because I've taken my files out, the file into the cloud.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking before I actually download, I need to remove the files out of my hard
Yeah.
drive. Is that correct?
You need to move them out of that. So, okay, you need to remove them out of this location, the cloud.
Yes.
Okay. If you delete them here,
Yeah.
it's deleting them in the cloud.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is drag them
Yeah.
to a local location.
Got you.
The location can be on the same drive,
Right.
but it's not that the cloud location on
Yeah.
your drive is linked. And
Yeah.
it's linked. We did this last week. You weren't with us. This is the link.
Yeah.
This is the location. So I've gone to cloud, clicked on the cog, gone to
Yeah.
Lightroom Sync. This is the location on your local computer that the cloud downloads to.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is break that connection. And how we break the connection is we create a new folder.
Right.
2026.
Yeah.
So, and then 01.
Yeah.
So create 01 for January. And now, let's just expand that. I can move that and drag that in there.
Yeah.
It's telling
Yeah.
me I'm going to move them. I've now got them local. They're
Yeah.
still synced to the cloud. You can see the sync settings there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? They're still synced. So when I remove them from Lightroom, so let's
Yeah.
take the first one, which is 129. So if I go to 129, which is this one, and I delete it, that's going to remove it from the album, okay,
Yeah.
because I'm in the collection. So I need to go to all photos. And is it this one, 129? Let's just have a look. Just make sure I delete the right one. The file, oops. G, I think it is. Looking for the file name. That's 131. So that's 129. So now if I delete that there, I'm now deleting the photo. I'm doing it in the file structure, not the album structure.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
last week I said about working in, or I've said several times about working in collections.
Yeah.
Working collections, if you delete something from a collection, you're not deleting it, you're
No.
removing it from a collection. You can only delete images from the folder structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now going to delete that image because it was slightly out of focus, or it was actually slow shutter speed. And what will happen is because I've moved the image, right, I've moved it, it will not delete it, but it will break this link.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's no longer in the cloud structure.
Yeah.
All right, it's in this local directory here. This is my cloud directory. This is my local directory. And what you'll see is in a few moments, that little squiggle will disappear.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've broken the syncing connection.
Yeah.
All right. So you want me to do that again? I'll now do it on a iPad. There we go. Okay, so we'll go to Lightroom, get rid of me. So there's Lightroom. Let's go to that album. There's the album. Now you can see there's only 2 images in there because we deleted one from the cloud. There it is. So now take my camera, turn this on, plug it in. Well, plug it in first, then turn it on. Do best practice mode. And that's all turned in, plugged on. So let's say, there we go. That's what I've got. Yeah, just cable plugged in like that. And I hit the blue pill on the left-hand side, which is it's a little picture with a plus on it. Go to connected devices. And there's the images. And some of them will grey out shortly. Down there. And then import. I was importing all of them, but there we go. And there we go. That's done. And you'll see they'll start syncing. And if we look in the top left-hand corner, the little cloud spinning around, and it's already told me that one's green tick. It's already synced that one. And that'll take a few seconds. There you go. I've just touched the screen where the cloud is, and you can see it's uploading 4 images, already done 2. And that's it. Simple as that. And then we stop. And then we wait a few seconds. Share on here. And there we go. Here they start coming in. Finish coming in. If we come down to the album, and we're still waiting for them to come in. Still finishing syncing. You'll start seeing them coming in. Okay. And then if I go to Classic, go to the cloud, they'll start see the top right corner, and they'll start syncing back there. So it's a whole ecosystem of sharing and syncing backwards and forwards.
But you wouldn't really want to be doing that if you weren't on a proper network. You wouldn't really want to be doing it on your.
Yeah, so
you wouldn't
using
want
a
to be doing it
mobile
on a
phone or
cruise ship.
whatever.
Let's put it that way. On your cruise.
So there's no right or wrong answer to your question. I understand what you're saying. If you're on my cellular package, I'm with EE. I've got European unlimited data.
Yep.
So it doesn't cost me a penny just to keep syncing. Joan, who's not with us tonight, she's on a cruise. I don't want her to drop her phone over the side of the ship.
No.
The phone is insured, but the photographs and the memories are not. So if she gets internet access via the ship, she's paying for the service, whatever it is, upload the blooming things. There is another option, if you so wish.
And that's uploading the full res raw file.
That's uploading the full res, yeah. So with newer phones and newer tablets, normally USB-C, you can attach storage devices to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one that I have here has got two 8 TB drives in it, and I can plug it into the power, plug it into either a phone or a tablet or a computer, and then it's got another port that I can plug my camera into, and using my tablet, and it will power the power that I plug in will charge them all and run them all. So if I took, 5 hours worth of video and so on, etc., which I do, I would move them using Lightroom, not into the cloud. I'd move them onto this drive.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So rather than sticking them, adding them to the cloud, I add them to this folder or this local location, it will be called. Yeah. So that's another way of doing it. So you can buy these enclosures. They start at about £60.
Yep.
And then you can buy a 1 TB chip, which is about £80. So for around about 120, you've got a 1 TB storage. And Joan's actually got one. I've given her my old one. And it's got what's it called? MagSafe.
Yeah.
So it's got a little cable and it snaps on the back of a phone like that, and the cable goes around there.
Yeah.
And all she does is takes all the pictures off her phone and puts them on here.
Yeah.
So it's not filling up the phone storage. All she does is move and put them on there. And then she leaves that in the ship, in her cabin. So she's got her memories with her. She's got them safe. And that was the important thing, that they've worked the whole of their life and they've gone on this 35-day Caribbean cruise as a retirement gift to themselves, and didn't want to lose any photographs. So we sat down. She's paid the £10 to upgrade to 1 TB storage. So if there was something really, really, really important she wanted to keep not leaked, she would send that 1 or 2 files to the cloud or video or whatever, or she wanted to share with people back at home. She shared some photos with me, for example. She can do that via the cloud, but all the photos that she's taken with her camera and with her phone, she's got on her little drive, 1 TB drive, and they're all local, so they haven't gone up into the internet. Okay.
Yep.
So does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The extra functionality you get, the difference between Classic and the cloud, they all sync together. Remember, do you want me to show you that PowerPoint slide again?
I'm okay. I've got that.
Yeah, yeah, okay, you got it,
It's etched on my brain.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to share it with you, I'll share it with you. So it's a whole ecosystem, but you can choose how you want to use it. And the difference between Classic and Lightroom Desktop is you've got a little bit more functionality in sharing. And the biggest bit of it is you can share privately. So they get that email, and only the people that get the email can see the images. All right? And if you turn off that, they can share. They can't share it unless they give that person the tablet to look at the pictures. Yes, obviously, or give them the login or something like that. But it means that they're not publicly on Facebook or anything like that. And you're controlling it because you can delete them, you can remove them, you can remove the person, you can remove the image, you can remove the whole gallery, all from your services. Okay. Now, the best way, I believe, is a two-way platform of doing it. You share from Classic. Reason why is you can share as many images as you like because they're previews and they don't count towards your storage. And then you manage the sharing functionality via your phone or your tablet or via Lightroom desktop, because you can share privately from that if you want that functionality. So you share it from Classic, therefore it's not cost you any of your storage, and then you add the sharing functionality from Lightroom. So from your phone, from WhatsApp, whatever you want to do, you can just share it from your device. Yeah. So, and that actually might be easier if you've got a WhatsApp group or whatever, your family WhatsApp group or whatever. So you put it in Classic, doesn't count towards your storage, and then the link you share, you just copy it in Lightroom mobile. That's what it's called for the tablet and the your phone, Lightroom mobile. You just get the link and you just share it in the WhatsApp group. So it's a two-user interface because Classic was not set up. WhatsApp wasn't invented. Facebook probably was just coming, or it was MySpace. Who remembers MySpace? So I think it's gone back to a music platform now, MySpace. But anyway, but yeah. So yes, so that's how old Classic is. It's 20 years old, something like that. 20 something years old. So, um, but yeah, so that's the sharing from Lightroom. And next week we will look at bringing everything together, all devices, web browser, because you can do all of this that I've shown you on a web browser. And if we've got time, I'll even throw in Photoshop on a web browser for you. Okay. Anyone got any questions? Anyone want me to show anything again?
I have a question.
Yes, Jay.
How did you connect your phone to Zoom to show the screen from your phone?
That's not Lightroom.
But it's
Okay.
something you did. It's something you did.
Okay, there's apps for your phone, for tablets, and so on. And across the menu, across the bottom, there is the share button. You just hit share, and you get the options what to share it in. So,
But when I did that, my phone didn't come up. I tried that in the Zoom and it didn't show devices. It showed only my computer.
okay, so I'm in speaker view at the moment, and if I touch the screen, up comes the menu at the bottom, and if I hit more, it's got share, and then what do I want to share? And I want to share my screen.
So
I'll do that again for you. So there's
but I'm not a speaker, so a non-speaker.
no. Speaker view. I'm gallery view here. I'm speaker view here. You just change
Change the view to
change the
speaker.
viewing mode. So there's gallery view.
Okay.
There's speaker view.
Okay.
Right. So all I do is speaker view. It's one person and me up there, and in this case, because I'm speaking, it's me. And you click on the more, each user interface will have more icons. If you're on a big screen like this here, right, I've got all the icons across the bottom. If you're on a small little mobile phone, you've only got 3 or 4, and you'll have the little dots. You click on the little dots, and up will come the next menu. And then one of them's got share on it. It's got the word share and a square and an arrow. Hit on that, and then it gives you another menu. And you want to share the screen. So you just hit share screen. You could share documents, whiteboard, photos, share your camera, share a website, share a bookmark.
So you signed on from your phone as well as your computer
Correct.
into the Zoom. That's why there's 2 pictures of you.
Well, there's several pictures of me.
Several. One is your phone and one is your iPad.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. So you do it from your phone, not from the computer.
Correct.
Okay.
So I've got the apps on there. So, and a little tip is if you click on the URL, so if you've got it in your diary, your calendar, you click on the URL, it opens straight away. You haven't got to type in the number and so on. And then if you're the host, like I am in this case, it will say, do you want to be co-host? Yes, be co-host. So my phone and my tablets are co-host.
Okay.
And you'll
So you can
see,
switch from one to two. So the
yeah,
key there, the key if I want to show a picture of something from my phone on a Zoom, I need to sign in from my phone
yeah,
as well as the computer.
correct. Well,
Okay.
you could actually switch it to your phone and then switch back to your computer.
Right.
It's just whatever which way you want to do it. But I've got one, two, three, four, five Zooms here. All right. Thank God for 1 gigabit internet connection. One is my screen sharing what I'm doing. One is talking to you here, and there's a camera behind there. There's a camera there. Then I have my iPad because I'm sharing my iPad with you. I have my phone because I thought we'd have phone, and they're
Right.
all logged in as host. But I have my old iPad that's sitting in front of me here, and it's logged in as Lightroom Mark as an attendee. What that means is I see what you see. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, I don't actually say, can you see my screen? Do I? I actually don't say that. And a lot of Zooms you go
Right.
on, am I sharing my screen? Can you see it? Because I'm logged in as a guest as Lightroom Mark, I can actually see what you're seeing. I'm like you there. And that's what the black at Lightroom Mark login is. It's a totally separate guest account like you've got. And it sees what you see. So all I got to do is just look at that screen and I know what you're seeing.
Got it.
Yeah. So all the rest is logged in as the host or co-host, and that's logged in as a guest. So that hopefully answers your question.
Yeah. And that works whether it's a PC or a Mac.
Yep. Yeah, totally
Right.
across
Right.
application,
Right.
OS and so
It's
on, etc.
right. Got it.
Okay. So anyone questions about that? No? I know it can be complicated once you start, but if you think about the cloud as another SD card, yeah, you've got several SD cards. This one is just it's an SD card permanently connected to your ecosystem of your cameras, your smartphones, your tablets, your computers, and you can send them any way you want. But when you want to delete images off your smart SD card, how do you delete images off your SD card? You go into the SD card.
Yeah.
You either format it in camera, which is the best way to do it,
Yeah.
in my opinion, or you in your browser or Explorer, you go into the Finder or Explorer and you delete the file. That's exactly what you're doing when you go to the cloud, however you do it, by desktop, by web browser, you go into the cloud, you delete the file. You're doing exactly the same thing. The only thing that's changing is the representation, what we're looking at. Yeah. So your Adobe Cloud isn't like an SD card, a 1 TB up to 1 TB for most of us here in the cloud. It could be 20 gigabyte, could be 100 GB, 1 TB, 10 TB in the cloud. It's your SD card in the cloud. Yeah. Okay. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else you want me to share with you on that one? Okay. So we are going to look at tonight in the shorts. We're going to look at some modifying keys and keyboard shortcuts. And I have got a handout for you from one of my colleagues. Let's just open the chat. So does anyone know who Julianne Kosk is?
Yes.
Yeah, Julianne Kosk is the head evangelist at Adobe for Lightroom and I think Photoshop as well. She's basically the public Presentation. She's got she's a photographer, but she's the public face for Adobe for Lightroom and Photoshop. She does all the training. She does tons of stuff, etc. There's another gentleman at Adobe that you hopefully you may know or you should check out called Terry White. He again is an Adobe employee, and he does other applications as well, does InDesign and other bits and pieces. So Terry and Julianne both got YouTube channels, they're both employees of Adobe, and they do some great videos. And I haven't met Julianne, but we've done Zooms in Train the Trainer. But yeah, so I've just shared by her all the keyboard shortcuts PDF. They haven't changed. 2022. It's had permission to share it. So it's in the chat. So it's a PDF, and if you want to open the chat, you can download that, and that's all the keyboard shortcuts. So
Right.
if I now share here, we're just going to go through. Some of you will know these. Some of these you'll know that I've mentioned them before, but I do think they're great to go over. So let's start with an easy one. Culling. Do we all know what the word culling means?
It's the dangerous thing you'd never really want to do.
Well, it's the thing that we should do on import. And okay, so culling is basically a question, yes or no. Do you like it? Don't you like it? And we can do it several different ways, but the way that I like to do is P for pick, and it puts a white flag up. X for reject. So this is your keyboard shortcuts. And if you've changed your mind, you put U and that unflags it. But here's some little tips for you here. We go attributes and we turn on unflagged, which is the middle one. And if now we go pick, reject, pick, reject, pick, reject, reject, pick, reject, pick. I'm just hitting two fingers. That's all I'm doing, two fingers. Do I like it? Don't I like it? And if I want to make the screen images bigger, I press tab, gets rid of the side panels. Okay. All right. That gets rid of the panels, and there we go. So now I can just go pick X, pick X, pick X, and so on. Okay. Press tab again, it brings them back. And if I want to undo all those, turn the filters off. Press Command or Control A, that's select all. And press U, that's unflag them all. Okay, I'll show you another little tip regarding keyboard shortcuts and picking. Get a photo, auto advance, turned on there, or you can press caps lock, does the same thing. Pick, it still stays there because there's no attribute, excuse me, no attributes. So I'll turn the attributes off. I'll get rid of the side panels by pressing tab. So it's still there. I can see the image. Now go reject. You can see it's jumping on one image at a time. See, I can now see what I'm picking and rejecting because I haven't got this attribute on. Okay, so P, X, and U. And what I've actually got on my Wacom tablet here, right, I've got buttons down the side here. And when I'm in the library module, I'm just doing this, like playing a piano. So I'm not using my keyboard, I'm using that. Okay. So let's go.
So that's picking them effectively from the card or whatever into a catalog.
You've imported your images and you're looking at them and say, do I like them? Don't I like them? It's a straightforward yes, no question. And you're not deleting them. All you're going to do, let's say I'm going to pick all those and I'm going to reject all those. You can just now go attributes and say, show me my picked images. And there's my picked images. Show me my rejected images. There's my rejected images. And all you're doing is you're hiding them. You're not deleting them. You're not hiding them. So you can go through a workflow of 2,000 images and go through them once and then show me all my picked images and look at them again and then start unpicking them or rejecting them. And there is an actual workflow called refine your photos. And what it will do is the ones that are picked, when you go refine photos, it'll unpick the picked images, and the ones that aren't picked, so unflagged images, it will mark them as rejects, which will join the rejects. So then you go through them again, but they're all unflagged. So you've gone from flagged, unflagged, rejected. You go refine photo. All the flagged ones will become unflagged. All the unflagged ones will become rejected. And you start again with your unflagged images, picking and rejecting, picking, rejecting. And then again, you refine again and say, right, let's refine. All the picked ones will become unpicked. All the unflagged will become rejected. And you're narrowing it down from 1,500, let's say, if you're a wildlife photographer, down to 10 images. And you just keep quickly doing that. And if you do them in collections, it also will sync with the cloud. You can actually do them on sitting in front of the TV while everyone's watching EastEnders. You can sit there rejecting and picking your images.
Mark, can I
Yes,
just
David.
can I just ask, when you've done that and you've gone through several times and refined them, so you've just got a handful of pictures,
Yeah.
you've probably still got some keepers in the other lot.
Yeah.
That presumably means that none of those are marks. You'd have to start again, would you? Or
Well, it depends on your workflow. You know, you could go back and you could mark the ones that you're half. So my workflow is if I'm half unsure, once I get to the final collection, I will unflag the rejected ones that I want to keep. So what I've got left is picked ones are the keepers. Unpicked ones are I'm not quite sure. I might keep them, might not. Reject ones are rejected and they'll be deleted in a month or so's time.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, but that's very rare for me. You know, the unflagged ones, maybe 2 or 3 out of 100 images. Why keep images when you got better ones of those images? Why keep the worst ones? And I've gone past the point of being socially or emotionally attached to the image. Is somebody going to buy that image, or are they going to buy that image, or am I going to put it in my magazine, or am I going to put it in my academic journal? If the answer is yes, then I keep it. If the answer is no, 99.999 times 100, it will be black flagged and I'll reject and I will delete it in a few weeks' time or month or so's time. Because I got a better version of it. It's a commodity. But bearing in mind, if you're using Backblaze or a legacy backup system like I have, I'm putting the copies on old drives. So I've still got that file on a drive, but it's in my archive. And we got back up in a few weeks' time, so I'll show you all that then. So I've got every photograph I ever took on a date calendar structure on my 128 terabyte drives. But that Lightroom doesn't look at that. It looks at my working drive. Okay, so that's pick and reject. Let's have a look at some other keyboard modifiers. So if you press D on any image, if you press D, let's go and find an appropriate image. So let's see if I can find something. Oh, let's just say, if I hit D, it takes me straight to the develop module. Okay. If I press G, it takes me straight back to the grid module. Okay. Press R, takes me to the develop module, but it opens the crop tool. Okay. So if I go G, takes me back to grid. D takes me to develop. R brings out the crop tool. If I press O, it changes the overlay on the crop tool. Okay. Right. And now I can change my crop. So I can come to the aspect ratio, 1 by 1. I move the image, press enter to execute. Okay. I'll give you a couple of other little tips. Command Z, Control Z undoes it, jumps back a space. So this is the image and this is the crop that I want to preserve. This is the 3x2 crop. Well, I put this in as a snapshot. A snapshot is like a photograph where you are of the photograph, or yeah, it's a record. It's a moment in time. Okay, so 3x2. Okay, that's what I've called it, 3x2. Now I'm going to go R, the crop, 1 by 1. Going to bring that to the middle, something like that. Press enter. Now I'm going to go 1 by 1. I can now go back to the 3x2 and I can now go R, aspect ratio 16 by 9. There's my aspect ratio 16 by 9. Add it as a snapshot, 16 by 9. Okay, so I'm recording, all I'm doing is recording this point in my workflow. And this is how I use snapshots. There's my original, there's my one-to-one. Now, if I wanted a one-to-one print from this, I would go File, Export, because I want a square print. And now it's a 10-inch print at 300 dots per inch. I'm now going to export. There is a 10-inch print, 300 dots per inch as a 1 by 1 aspect ratio. Okay. Right. If I wanted a 16 by 9 print aspect ratio, but being 10 inches on the longest edge, 10 inches along the longest edge, export. Can I overwrite it? There it is as a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, 10 inches along the longest edge. Okay. So, and if I want to go back 3x2, there's my 3x2, what it was originally. So that's what snapshots are used for. Now, modifying keys. Option Alt key. On different sliders, it will do different things. I'm only going to show you a couple here. Black slider. When I hold the Option Alt key down, what is black or less than black, as in black is blacker than black. Okay, the value of black is now being shown. So crushing the blacks, it's called. Same with the whites. And that is whiter than white, what you're seeing. I'm holding the Option Alt key and I'm moving the white slider, and I was using the black slider. So these white bits are here. Now if I press J, that's my clipping mask. So if you look at the histogram, you can see I've got my white boxes. That means the J is on. And if I now move the black slider to the right, if you look at the left triangle, it's just disappeared. Right? That means there's nothing clipped on that image. -2 is the setting, technically. But I might want to really crush the blacks. And you can see now, you can see them coming in, the blue, because I've got the clipping mask on, turn J off, and it's making the blacks even deeper in black color. Okay, the Option Alt key, that does that. Okay,
What's the Option key?
well, it's Alt in yours. Oh no, you've got a PC.
I've got a
keyboard.
PC keyboard.
Yeah, so it's Alt, isn't it, on yours?
That's the option. So Option O.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right.
Okay.
So it's Alt on PC. It's Option on Mac. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you hover over with your mouse over the pointer, you can actually use, so if we hover over an image, over a slider, so the amount, can you see now the word's gone white, the amount? Now we use the up and down key, okay, and it's jumping 5 points. So if you see, my mouse is on this crop slider, and you can see it's plus 45. Okay, so I've left the mouse there, and now I'm just going down using the arrow key on my keyboard, going down, and it's jumping by 5 points. So +1, +6, +11, +16. Okay. If I hold the shift key, goes by 20. Okay, so you can use your keyboard to adjust this slider fine amounts. Okay. Keyboard shortcuts. What else? Keyboard shortcuts. I think that'll be about it. Oh, I'll show you some modifying keys in the sharpening tool. So we want to sharpen this image, and what are we sharpening? Well, we can see it globally by just moving the slider. But again, hold the Option Alt key, it takes it black and white. So by removing the colors, we can see it more. But if we come to the mask, well, what's the mask doing? We can't see. Hold the Option Alt key, and what is white is being sharpened. Okay. And then we apply the amount of sharpening we want. So what is black is not being sharpened. We don't need to sharpen the background. We don't need to sharpen clouds. And now, how much do we want to sharpen them? Okay. There we go.
Can you just say again on the mask what were
Yeah.
you holding Alt and
Yeah, Option or Alt. So it's Option normally on a Mac, Alt on a PC. It's the third key in bottom left-hand corner, if I remember rightly.
So how do you do, if Option is Alt, how do you do Option Alt on a PC keyboard?
Well, it'll be Alt. It'll be the Alt key.
Just, no, but you said Option Alt.
Yeah,
That's holding two keys. That's holding.
Alt is for a PC. Option is for a Mac.
So you're not holding two keys down.
No.
When you
It's one
say
key. So it's Alt is the key if you're on a PC. Option if you're on a Mac. So I'm pressing the word Option. Yours will say Alt.
Right.
A-L-T.
I thought when you said Option Alt, it was two keys.
No, it's one.
How did you get it black and white? How did you?
Well, so that's holding, in your case, the Alt key and moving the mask slider. And what is black is not being sharpened. So white to reveal, black to conceal. So what is black is not being sharpened. So that I'm now selecting, this is a mask. I'm selecting what I'm going to sharpen. And I'm still here, in your case, holding the Option key down. And now I'm adding the sharpening. You can see how grainy it gets.
Yes.
And by taking the color away, okay, that's that. Okay, I'll do one other. Color pointer, color mixer, and we'll change it to hue saturation. So color mixer, hue saturation. You take the pipette, and I want to change this color. Okay, so it goes to a blue. If I hold the Option Alt key, it desaturates what is not being changed in the whole image. So if I go to the luminance slider, you can see what's not being affected more. I'm holding the Alt key for J, Option key for Mac users. You can see if I do it without the key, with the key. Let's see if I can find a picture with a this one will do. If I take the pipette, take the red, you can now see the red that I'm adjusting. So you can see it, so I'm adjusting it in this board here on the left, and I'm adjusting, let's go from there. I'm adjusting this board here on the left. I'm clicking here. All right. You can see, if you have a look at this board here on the right, I'm clicking on the red, going up and down, and I'm changing the brightness. So the first board on the left is being adjusted, the third board from the left is being adjusted, and the last board on the right is being adjusted. But also a little bit of the pavement is being adjusted because the shadow of the red on the pavement. But the sky isn't, and the other boards aren't, because they're all being grayscaled or desaturated. So if I now change the color, you can see the colors that I'm changing. I'm holding the Option or Alt key, depending on your operating system, and I'm just sliding up and down on the keyboard with the mouse. Okay. And same, I'm going to do the saturation. I'm going to click on the red again, hold the Option or Alt key, and you can see that I've desaturated it. All right. But you can see what I'm affecting because all the other colors have muted. Desaturated, gone grayscale, whatever you want to say. Right. And all I'm doing is I'm holding the modifying key and it's adjusting the red and the orange in the image. Okay. So there's some modifying keys and some keyboard shortcut. Does that help? Yeah, there's lots of them, and that's why I've shared that PDF with you. There are lots and lots and lots, and they change for every module. If you go up to help down the bottom, it says shortcut menus, a splash panel. What's the actual wording? Help. It will say the module shortcuts. And that is command and / for keyboard shortcut. And each module, it will go through or change the module. But there's a lot of generic ones: G, D, R, P, X, U, all generic ones. 1 to 5 is ratings, so stars. 6 to 8, 6 to 9 is color labels. So you go 6, that's red, 7, that's yellow, 8, that's green. So you could, you learn these, you do these. I constantly 1 star for me is important. I've liked it on the back of the camera. 2 stars for me is I'm actually currently editing it. 3 stars for me means it's ready in my workflow, and I may have shared it on social media. 5 stars for me means it's actually public now. It's ready. It's public. It's gone. It's in the public domain. 5 stars means 4 I'm not using at the moment. Okay. Everyone happy with that? Yeah. Okay. So, what questions have you got tonight? Who needs help with something? What's challenging you in Lightroom Classic?
I've got a response from last week's. How do you get something to delete something off your backup drive?
Yeah.
You can use RoboCopy, I found out in the week.
RoboCopy. So
which is a PC. It's a standard thing on the PC.
Right.
There's an option in it. So when you copy it from your primary drive, your backup drive,
yeah,
if you've deleted it off your primary drive, it will delete it off your backup drive.
Right. Okay.
So that was one of the things we talked about last week. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a specific thing. And I know in GoodSync, there's when you copy it across, it will remove it from the primary. So it's just like a move location.
Yeah.
Or you can actually say, if I'm backing up and I've deleted it off my primary, I don't want it to delete it off my backup.
Yeah.
So that's like the reverse procedure. So what we're talking about is moving files, everybody, and backing up files and so on. Do you want to migrate from here to here, 2 different directories? Do you want them synced? Do you want them one-way backup? Do you want them 2-way backup? Do you want to keep them? You want to keep your backups, but you don't want them on your working files. So give you a scenario. I've picked a load of images. I've deleted them off my main drive, my working drive, but I actually do want to put a backup copy of them in my archive, which is what I do. My working drive gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but my archive drive gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because what I do is I import them and sync them, and then I just delete them off my working drive, and so I go through them. But because I've synced them and I tell them not to remove off my archive drive, I've got all my photographs I've ever taken on there that have ever been in Lightroom Classic. So I think that's what
Is that the default for Backblaze? That if you delete it on your primary, it will not be deleted in
It
Backblaze?
depends on your plan. If you're on the forever plan, yes. If you're on the year plan, it will keep it for a year. And if you're on the standard plan, it's 28 days.
Got it.
Okay. And that's on the personal plan. If you have a B2B, it will stay there forever. So I have both. I have my personal plan is like catch all, and I'm on a year. And then I have I've got I use a bit of software. What do I call it? What's it called? Mountain Duck. I use CyberDuck and Mountain Duck to FTP and so on. Mountain Duck is you can have a third-party location, OneDrive, Dropbox, and other cloud storage, Backblaze, and so on, and it looks like a folder on your computer, or a drive on your computer. That's what that software does. So rather than using an app to upload it or whatever, I just drag it from Finder to Finder, and it then just FTPs into that location. So what I do with a lot of my clients' work, I just export it and put it in a folder location. That folder location is in Backblaze. In Backblaze B2B, which is their business service. And it just sits there, and I know they're my clients' images. And that's the service we touched on briefly this time last week, where David was downloading in 2 GB or 20 GB or 2 TB, whatever it was, chunks, and it was taking a little while because he had lots of images because he had a drive failure. If he'd have moved them to B2B, he could have downloaded them in one hit, but that costs money. So it's always, I talk about photography, there's consequences. You buy a tripod, that's expensive. The other consequences, you've got to carry it everywhere with you. So, or you want that shallow depth of field of that lovely otter sitting on a rocky mull. Firstly, the 600mm f4 costs you 15,000 quid. And secondly, it's a frigging heavy thing to carry. So there are the consequences. But hopefully we get some lovely images. Does anyone else have any questions? Peter, you saying something? You're on mute?
That's better. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Lovely. It does help. Right. In Classic, virtual copy is just a copy of the original file. But in Lightroom, there's a duplicate. Is that similar, or is it a same? I struggle to understand a duplicate from a virtual copy. I understand a virtual copy.
So the virtual copy is you're making a line in the database at the point that you make the virtual copy.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So if you change it to black and white after you've done the virtual copy, you'll have one in color and one in black and white.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a version in Lightroom, which gives you an additional file, if I remember rightly, and you can click on different versions, and I can't remember. I don't think it makes another file. It writes it into the header, if I remember rightly.
In Lightroom.
Yeah, it writes it
Yeah.
into the header. So
Yes.
it's the equivalent of, it doesn't like it. If you did this in
Yeah.
Photoshop, you'd go File, Save As, and create another file, and you'd
Yeah.
have one
Yeah.
file
Yeah.
independently of the other
Yeah.
one. And if you updated the metadata in one in Photoshop, you wouldn't update the
Yeah.
metadata in the other one, and
Yeah.
so on. But if I remember rightly, if I make that as a version, and then create version, there's the original. Let's just make it black and white, then create the version, name it, create version, EW bomb, and then go right click. No, it doesn't make, no, it's exactly the same. It doesn't, just wanted to double check. I didn't want to give you any misinformation.
Yeah.
It's just writing it into the header.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not getting a location.
Yeah.
I've made a black and white. I'm not getting a location for where the file is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That's fine.
So
happy with that.
unless I've done something wrong, my understanding has been and is now still, but yeah, I'll have a look at it over the week and just double, treble check. My understanding is it writes a line into a header, or if you've got it ticked, an XMP file, where it creates a reference document, if you want to say. And it just references back to the original when you made that version, and gives you the other version.
Great, thank you.
And go there. Let's go there. That version has now come down to Classic. The
Right.
made is now in that album in Classic.
Got you.
So it's now just come down. I've now the black and white one sitting next to the color one.
Yeah.
So it treats it exactly the same.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions? No? All quiet. Okay. Well, we'll call it a night if you've got no questions, and
okay.
I'll put the recording up tomorrow. Send you the link via Eventbrite.
Okay. Thank you.
Next week we'll look at the cloud, which is the last bit of understanding how this all works together. So I will show you on a computer. So we'll take this computer as a hotel computer, for example, or perhaps you're at work and so on. You log you into a web browser. If you don't know the name of the application or status or account at or dot, so lightroom.adobe.com, photoshop.adobe.com, account.adobe.com, status.adobe.com. But you get the hint.
Yeah.
Right? You log into your account and you see that application. And this is where the cloud comes in really handy. If you're using Lightroom on your tablet, you can, and you got an older laptop that doesn't, iPad or whatever, that doesn't support the Photoshop version. You can send it to your cloud account and pick it up on a web browser, Photoshop on a web browser, and do whatever you want to do. In Photoshop, you might want to do Poppet Warp, or if that supports on a web browser, I don't know if it does. But whatever you want to do on a web browser, and then press save, it puts it back in the cloud, and you can pick it back up in Lightroom.
Yeah.
So it's a flexible ecosystem. And as new new functionality comes out, it gets added to the cloud.
Yeah.
You can now send from Lightroom to Express. Does everyone know what Express is?
A little bit, but not to, yeah.
Have we heard of Canva?
No.
No. Canva is Photoshop. So basically, it allows you to make graphics for social media. It allows you to do videos and timelines and all these things that you see things on social media and so on. and Canva is a competitor, but Adobe Express allows you to do it. Or perhaps you want to do a poster for a club or something like that. You can drop in elements, there's templates and so on. Well, that's all it's called Express. But the thing is, you can send a photograph rather than saving it on your desktop, then uploading it. You just put it into a collection, sync it with the cloud, go to Express, and it's sitting there. So you just add it to the poster you're making or whatever you're doing, or Christmas card or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, got you.
So it's a whole ecosystem. Okay, guys, lovely to see you. Recording will be up tomorrow. I'll send you an email via Eventbrite with a link on it.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. See you next week. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.